From the moment we met, I knew there was no affinity between us. There's no room in this place for a creature like you, a woman bearing a child. Return to where you belong. On the day of my brother's wedding, my sister-in-law unleashed a torrent of insults upon me. It was meant to be a joyous occasion, one where I yearned to share in happiness. Yet her words cut deep. Unable to endure such treatment any longer, I made the difficult decision to abstain from attending the ceremony. My name is Elizabeth H. I juggle part-time employment with managing household dues. 3 years ago, I married my husband Robert, who was 2 years my senior. He works as a buyer and salesperson at a major department store. Robert's fresh appearance contributes to his strong sales performance at the department store. Having always wanted children, we went through fertility treatments and were overjoyed when we finally conceived our first child. I was especially thrilled to have a child with a man I love, and I couldn't wait to share the news with him. When I told Robert, he was ecstatic. "Robert, it looks like we've been truly blessed." "Really? Does that mean?" "Yes." "Is it really happening? We're going to have a baby?" "Seriously, I'm so overwhelmed with joy." My husband's tears mirrored my own, expressing his gratitude as he embraced me tightly. From that moment on, we eagerly anticipated the arrival of our little one, each day filled with excitement and expectation. But there was someone else eagerly awaiting the birth. My own brother Thomas, 4 years my senior. Thomas has cherished me since childhood, a bond that remains unbreakable even as adults. Our sibling bond remains strong. He was aware of our struggles with infertility, so when I shared the news of my pregnancy, his joy matched that of my husband's, tears included. I've heard that our mother back home was so thrilled by the news that she was left utterly speechless. Whether it was my marriage or now my pregnancy, my brother has always wanted the best for me. I hold my brother in the same high regard. 2 months into my pregnancy, my brother reached out to speak with me. "What did you want to talk about, Thomas?" I asked directly, noticing his hesitant demeanor. He scratched his head nervously and replied, "Well, I'm getting married." "Married? Really, Thomas?" My brother attended an all-boys school from middle to high school, then studied at a male-dominated science department at university, so the fact that he might have a girlfriend had never crossed my mind. Despite our parents' suggestions for arranged meetings to set him up with a woman, he always declined. I think he's quite handsome, but his reserved nature in the past may have limited his chances with women, so hearing that he's getting married now is a shock I can't hide. "I imagine this is a surprise," he said. "I know it seems sudden." "Definitely so. Who's the lucky woman?" "She's 3 years younger than me, so just 1 year older than you, Elizabeth. Her name is Rebecca, and we met through work." "Really? What's her connection to your job?" "Well, she's the daughter of the president of one of our business partners." "The president's daughter? That's incredible." "It sounds like something straight out of a movie." I gasped in astonishment, and my brother chuckled. "You're making a big deal out of this." Even though she comes from such a background, she's putting in the work at her father's company. We're both getting older and thought it was the right time to take this step. Seeing my brother so earnest about his future warmed my heart. He, who has always hoped for my happiness, has finally found someone special to share his life with. The thought made me feel as if I were celebrating my own good fortune. A month later, my brother introduced his fiancée to us in our apartment. "Nice to meet you. I'm Rebecca, your brother's fiancée." Rebecca, my brother's fiancée, exuded elegance and sophistication, clearly embodying the image of a career-driven woman. Observing her poised demeanor, I couldn't help but feel like we came from entirely different worlds. "Nice to meet you, Rebecca. I'm Elizabeth, the younger sister." I greeted her. "Ah, the little sister. she responded, casting a quick glance over me. For a moment, it felt as though her gaze pierced right through me, though I brushed it off as mere imagination. Yet it soon became apparent that my intuition was accurate. Throughout our interaction, she directed minimal attention towards me, instead focusing her conversation on my husband. "Robert, your work as a salesperson at that esteemed department store is truly impressive," she remarked, engaging him in conversation. Caught off guard, my husband responded awkwardly, "Oh, well, thank you. I haven't had the chance to shop recently. Would you mind recommending something suitable for me next time I visit?" she inquired, her attention firmly fixed on him. "Of course, thank you. We'll be looking forward to your visit." It was evident that Rebecca treated my husband and me differently. It seemed she might be trying to flirt with my husband. Still, I didn't want to dampen the mood, especially since my brother had chosen her as his partner. Just as my brother wished for my happiness, I wanted him to find joy as well. I couldn't let something as minor as her distant demeanor towards me affect my brother's happiness. Despite my concerns, I kept quiet. From then on, Rebecca started frequenting the department store where my husband works. That day, my husband came home and let out a sigh of frustration. "Rebecca stopped by my section again today." Again, she was there just yesterday too, wasn't she? "Yeah, she's buying quite a bit, which is fine, but even when I'm assisting other customers, she interrupts without any regard. It's causing inconvenience for the other sales staff as well, so it's becoming a bit of a hassle, you know?" That does sound challenging. According to my husband, each time she visits, Rebecca makes purchases worth thousands of dollars. While it's beneficial for the store, my husband expressed concern. Despite her status as the president's daughter, her spending habits might raise some red flags. Several months later, the eagerly awaited day of my brother's wedding finally arrived. At that point, I was well into the later stages of my pregnancy, my belly prominently showing. It was a once-in-a-lifetime occasion for my dear brother. I was certain it would be a beautiful ceremony. I felt a rush of excitement as I left the house adorned in a maternity party dress I had purchased specifically for this special day. The situation unfolded when I arrived at the venue and approached the reception desk. "I'm Elizabeth Smith, the groom's sister, and this is my husband, Robert." When I provided my name to the receptionist, she seemed confused. Are you the groom's sister?" "Yes, I'm Thomas Harris's sister," I confirmed. "That's odd," she responded. Then she said something unexpected. We were told that the groom's sister wouldn't be attending." "What? That can't be right. I'm his sister, of course I'm here." "Well, we were informed that the groom's sister had other commitments and wouldn't be coming." "Hold on, there must be some mistake. My husband and I were both planning to attend. Mr. Smith is listed as a guest and is confirmed. The cancellation only applies to you, the sister, huh?" I found myself at a loss for words, stunned by this unexpected twist. Turning to the receptionist, my husband inquired, "Who informed you that my wife wouldn't be attending?" "It was the bride," came the reply. "Rebecca," my husband questioned, a hint of suspicion creeping into his voice as he sensed something amiss. His expression hardened. "Could you please fetch Rebecca?" he requested firmly. Shortly after, Rebecca and a woman who appeared to be her mother approached us, confirming the unsettling truth. I confronted Rebecca directly. "Rebecca, what's going on? Am I marked as absent?" "Well, it seems that's the situation," she responded nonchalantly. "Wait just a minute. I never once indicated that I wouldn't be attending," I protested incredulously. With a sneer, she retorted, "Your presence is of no concern to me. Elizabeth isn't coming because you're nothing but trouble, understand?" "What are you talking about? Let's be clear from the start. I've never cared for you. You parade around as if you're superior just because you have a decent-looking husband and brother. From the moment we met, I've despised you. Your plain appearance doesn't match your lofty name, Elizabeth. You're nothing but an obstacle to my happiness." Stunned, I struggled to find my voice. She glared down at me, her words cutting like ice. "Didn't I make myself clear? You're nothing but trouble. There's no room here for a pregnant loser like you, so leave." I stood speechless, but the shock didn't end there. To my astonishment, even her mother began spewing venomous words that I found hard to believe. "Rebecca is right. Having someone as unattractive as you at Rebecca's wedding is a hassle. It's unfortunate enough for Rebecca to be associated with you." Rebecca turned to me, my face pale, and continued, "Leave now. You're just getting in the way. You're an eyesore, an ugly pregnant woman." In that moment, the anger I had been suppressing surged within me. Just as I was about to respond, my husband intervened. "How dare you speak to my wife like that? I'd never imagined Rebecca could be so disrespectful. Let's go home, Robert." "It's not worth it," I said. "Are you sure?" "I don't want to stay here any longer," my husband replied. "Let's go," I insisted, tugging my husband's arm as we made our exit from the venue. "Good riddance," came the parting shot from Rebecca and her mother, their insults trailing behind us. A few hours later, my brother hurried to our home, his expression weighted with regret. "Elizabeth, Robert, I'm truly sorry for Rebecca's behavior," he apologized. "It's not your fault, Thomas." "How did the rest of the wedding unfold?" I inquired. I decided to ask the guests to leave midway through. I couldn't bear to continue the ceremony after what happened to my dear sister. That was a wise decision. But why did Rebecca harbor such animosity towards me? "Well, I was taken aback when I heard what happened too," my brother responded, unsure of where he was going with this. "It appears Rebecca has been jealous of you, Elizabeth." "Jealous? We've always been close as siblings, right? Plus, Robert is quite attractive, and seeing you so happy and expecting a child seemed to bother her." "Why would that be a problem?" She was making